Good day, we are Group 5, presenting the case Brewing Barista Discontent at Starbucks. Let me quickly introduce the group members and the topic we cover. Menega covers strategic alignment, Nimal will cover conflict and recommendation for the new CEO, and I, Tulasi, will cover employee motivation. One central argument runs through all three. The crisis grew from the gap between what Starbucks says about its people and what it did. The case in brief, despite generous pay and benefits, workers at 300 stores unionized over staffing, safety, and communication failures. The new CEO, Narasimhan, must rebuild trust. Menaga, over to you.
Thank you, Tulsi. Good day, everyone. I will be covering on the strategic alignment perspective. First of all, we will discuss on why Starbucks value a direct employee connection. Starbucks believe that people are the heart of the business. The company wants customers to enjoy a great experience, and that experience comes from barista. Starbucks called its employee partner because it wants employee to feel valued and included. The company prefer a direct communication between managers and employee instead of using union. However, many employees felt their concern about staffing, safety, and workload is not being heard. Based on the strategic HRM, say HR practice must support the business strategic. Starbucks want a people-first culture, but employee did not always experience that in their daily work. As a result, trust decreased and more employees support unionizations. Next, we will look into how Starbucks HR practice support business strategy. Starbucks has a strong business strategy. It's focused on the customer experience growth, people first culture, and strong employee brand. To support the Starbucks also heavily invested in a HR practice such as in a healthcare benefits, stock option, education support, and salary increment. However, employees still report staff shortage, safety concerns, and communication issues. These show a gap between what Starbucks promised and what employee experience every day. This can be explained by AMO. AMO stands for Ability, Motivations, and Opportunities. Starbucks provide abilities through training and motivations through rewards and benefits, but employees felt that they had a limited opportunity to share their concern and influence decisions. This is why employees become dissatisfied and some support unionizations. To solve this issue, Starbucks should improve communications, reviewing staff level, and improve staff safety, and also provide employee voice platform. Next, to solve this issue, we will discuss how leadership can influence employee view the company. Howard Scott believed in a direct relationship with employees and did not support union representations. However, some employees felt management was not listening to them, which reduced the trust. As a new CEO, Lakshman spent time working as a barista and regularly meet employees to understand their concerns. This relates to the self-determination theory. Says employees are motivated when they feel they have a voice, they are supported, they feel connected to others. When these needs are met, employees are more engaged and committed. This also linked to the Thomas Gilman conflicts model, which suggests solving a problem through collaboration. Starbucks should create an employee feedback council, improve communication, and train managers to listen and respond effectively. As a conclusion, the Starbucks issue is not about union. The main problem is the gap between Starbucks people's first strategic and employee daily experience. Using a strategic HRM, AMO, and self-determination, we can see that employees need more than benefits. They also need to feel heard, respect, and involved. If Starbucks improve communication, staffing, and employee voice, it can help to rebuild the trust and strengthen both employee and customer experience. Thank you. I will hand over to Nimal.
Thank you, Menaga. Building on the strategic issues you have identified, I will explain how the interactionist view of the conflict help us understand the Starbucks case. According to Robbins and Judge, not all conflicts harmful. a certain level of conflict can stimulate innovation, improve decision making, and enhance organizational performance. At Starbucks, employees raise concerns about staffing shortages, safety, and workload. These were examples of functional conflict because they highlighted issues that required management attention. However, instead of addressing concerns, management opposed unionization. As communication deteriorated and trust declined, conflict became dysfunctional, affecting employee morale and organizational performance. The key message is that conflicts was not the problem. Management response transformed functional conflict into dysfunctional conflicts. So, how we apply the theory to the Starbucks? Applying this theory to Starbucks, we can clearly see how the conflicts develop. Staff shortages, safety concerns, and increasing workload led employees to raise their concerns. When these concerns were not adequately addressed, Workers United became a channel for employee voice. Instead of treating this as a constructive feedback, uh, management adopted an adversarial approach. As communication broke down, trust declined, and the conflict escalated into dysfunctional conflict. The interactionist view suggests Starbucks should have used dialogue and collaboration to resolve these issues rather than treating employee concerns as a threat. So let's see our recommendations to the new CEO. Based on this analysis, we propose 6 recommendations for the new CEO. First, continue CEO listening sessions to rebuild trust with employees. Second, conduct good faith collective bargaining. Rahim's integrating conflict management style emphasizes collaboration rather than confrontation. Third, strengthen transparent two-way communication. Fourth, increase employee participation in store level decision making. Fifth, provide conflict management training so that managers can resolve issues before they escalate. Finally, establish a formal conflict resolution framework to promote collaboration and support long-term organizational performance. Together, these recommendations address the root causes of conflict while improving employee engagement and business performances. Now, to implement these recommendations, we propose a collaborative conflict resolution framework based on Rahim's integrating conflict management style. The framework shows how CEO listening sessions encourage open dialogue, leading to collaborative problem solving. This helps rebuild trust, strengthen employee engagement, improve customer experience, ultimately enhance organizational performance. Success can be measured through employee engagement, employee turnover, customer satisfaction, and grievances resolution time. Effective conflict management is not only about resolving disagreements. It creates the foundation for stronger employee engagement and sustainable organizational performance. Now, I will hand over to Tulasi, who will explain how Starbucks can rebuild employee motivation and long-term commitment. Thank you.
Thank you, Nimal. I want to close our analysis with what actually motivates Starbucks employees, because there is a puzzle here. Starbucks paid $15 to $24 an hour, plus stock, healthcare, and free college tuition, a generous deal. Yet, workers at 300 stores were frustrated enough to unionize. So, if the pay was good, why were people so unhappy? Because pay was never the thing driving these employees. Next slide, please. Husband's two-factor theory explains it. The things that make people unhappy at work are different from the things that motivate them. Hygiene factors like pay, benefits, and condition prevent dissatisfaction, but they do not motivate. The true motivators are recognition, voice, growth, and meaning. Starbucks kept rising pay, fixing the hygiene side, but employees were asking to be heard, to be safely staffed, to be respected. Those are motivators, and those were neglected. Starbucks was solving the wrong side of the equation. Next slide, please. This leads to distinction the case demands. Job satisfaction is passive, which is I am content with my deal and you can buy it with pay. But engagement is active. I care, I will go extra mile, and it can only be earned through voice and inclusion. Inspiration is purposeful. This works matters, which is exactly what Starbucks' own mission promises. And leadership, communication, and culture shape all three. Leadership sets the tone. Schul's stance told partners their voice was unwelcome, while Narasimhan's circles invited. Communication carries the voice. When it broke, engagement broke. Culture makes the mission real. When it felt hollow, inspiration disappeared. Starbucks bought satisfaction, but lost engagement and forgot the inspiration its own mission promises. Next slide, please. Cuthbert told us pay is not enough. But here's a new theory. Kant's engagement theory tells us exactly what to build instead. Kant found people engage only when three conditions are met: meaningfulness, psychological safety, and availability. At Starbucks, all three were broken. So our plan fixes each one specifically. For meaningfulness, quarterly mission moments award, peer nomination, recognizing partners who brings nurture the human spirit mission to life. For psychological safety, extend the CEO's no eggshell circles into a 15-minute monthly partner forum in every stall, with teams unset at district level within 2 weeks. So speaking up visibly leads to change. And for availability, a minimum floor staffing standard and schedule published 3 weeks ahead, because an exhausted barista has no energy to engage. This plan uses Starbucks' own mission, its own CEO's practice, and target the exact complaints in the case. Next slide, please. And this is why the action we proposed will work. The staffing and safety fixes are hygiene, which is essential, but that's only the flaw. The real motivators are voice through two-way communication, respect through constructive labor relation, and recognition beyond pay. First, fix hygiene, then unlock the motivators, where satisfaction becomes engagement. Engagement will become inspiration, and that is how Starbucks retain its partners. Next slide, please. As a conclusion, Starbucks' crisis came from gap between what it says and what it did. Menega showed the direct connection is the strategy itself. Nimul showed the union was a signal, not an enemy. And I showed that pay buys satisfaction, but only voice earns engagement and purpose sustains inspiration. Close the say and do gap, trust, motivation, and performance will follow. Thank you for your attention.